Okay, I thought we could start lying down, so we can cool the body down a little bit. So let's just lie down anywhere that you're comfortable. And you don't particularly need to be able to see the screen, really. I'll just try and talk us through it as best as possible. So you can choose to have the legs flat on the floor or the knees bent, which will support the lower back a little bit. So if you have the knees bent, you could just rest the knees against each other. And then just sigh into the floor. That relief. Just letting go of the weight of the body. And then you could kind of like lift and tuck up the tailbone and set the hips back down, and then lift up the shoulders and lengthen them away from the hips a little bit. Tuck the chin in so that you have a really nice long spine. And then for the first few moments, just softening anywhere that you find tension in the body. So maybe even just scanning through the body, from the head, through the face, down the shoulders, the arms, the hands, back of the body, the hips, thighs, knees, shins, ankles and feet. And we'll start with some belly breathing, just letting the gentle rise and fall of the belly just become a little deeper. So as we usually do, just letting the breath fully inflate the belly and fully deflate. So you don't feel that you're rushing the breath. And don't feel that you need to push it too far either. If it doesn't feel comfortable to breathe that deeply at the moment, just breathe in a little more gentle way. But this is the best way of relaxing the body immediately, is just to start bringing the breath a little further into the lungs. And then we could start to breathe into the belly and then up into the chest. And then it will just take that bit longer for the breath to make its way all the way out. So just enjoying the fullness of the breath. Perhaps with a little pause at the top of the in-breath. And a little pause at the bottom of the out-breath. And you could go on to complete the breath all the way up to the space around the shoulders, breathing through the belly, up into the chest, all the way up into the shoulders. Thinking of the lungs and the rib cage moving forwards and out to the side and up and a little bit backwards as well. So we'll just do 2 more complete yoga breaths. And let the breath return back to normal. And if you've had your eyes closed, you might want to just blink your eyes open. And we could take the knees in to hug towards the chest. And just some gentle rocking from side to side. And hugging or circling the knees, so just gently easing in. See if there are any messages that come up from the lower back or from the hips when you start to move. If there's any little twinges or aches and pains, just being super sensitive to everything that you find. And moving within your comfort zone. And then we'll just hug the knees right in. And then take an inhalation here. And as you exhale, bring the nose up towards the knees. And as you inhale, let the head rest back down again. And keep going with that. Inhale to lie the head down on the floor. And exhale to squeeze up towards the knees. And one more time, and then we'll hold the hug. And then rest the head back down and hold on to the right knee only and extend the left leg away from you along the floor. So the left leg is resting on the floor and the right knee is hugged in. And from there, just activate the right foot so the toes are facing the ceiling. The left foot is the same. And then we're going to lift the left leg up towards the ceiling. So the sole of the foot is facing the ceiling. And then exhale to lower the left leg towards the floor. So inhaling to lift it up. And exhaling to lower it down. And just moving like that. And notice that the pelvic floor automatically engages to support your lower back. But do just lift and lower to an angle where your lower back doesn't feel compromised, that it's arching too much. So you may choose to just hover the heel above the floor rather than resting it down to sort of encourage a little challenge. One more time, lifting and lowering. And then we'll rest the left leg down, and then take the knee that you're hugging in and hold onto it with the left hand and draw it over to the left hand side. So it comes down to the floor on the left hand side and you're in a lying twist. You could take the right arm out onto the floor, and you could even look towards the right hand side. Nice deep breathing into the lungs and the back of the body. And then come back up to the center. And you kind of already have that right ankle rested on the left knee. So keep it like that, and we'll bring the left thigh in towards you. So you've got this shape in the legs where the right ankle's on top of the left knee, the left thigh is in towards you, and you're reaching through the hole in the legs to take hold of the back of the thigh. And you could straighten up the left leg as well, so that you're getting a stretch in the hamstring too, so the toes are coming back towards you. And then bend the left foot in again and slide the right knee over the top. So you're cross-legged, and we're going to reach down and hold opposite ankles. So both your knees are hugged in, they're crossed over the top of each other. And then you're holding the opposite ankles so that you're just in a little pretzel position. So we've done this one seated before. It's called Gomukhasana, the cow face pose. So it's just a hell of a lot easier when you're lying on your back to do this position. So notice that if you draw the ankles further in towards you, you get more of a stretch on the outside edges of the hips and the glutes. So you can make it as strong or as gentle as you like. And if it doesn't work with both knees folded, you can keep one leg straight. So untangle the legs, and we'll take a full body stretch. Stretching through the toes and the fingers. Take a nice deep breath, hold the stretch, and then we'll flop everything down. And then again. Maybe reaching through the left hand side and the right hand side. And then let the arms flop. And we'll bring the knees back in, hugging the knees in, and again just readjusting a couple of circles, or hugs, or rocking from side to side. And then we'll come back to the center, and this time hug the left leg in, left knee in, and extend the right leg along the floor. So we'll activate both feet, and then inhale to lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, and exhale to lower it down. Just hovering off the floor as you lower down. So inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower, and then just working at your own pace. You can make this as slow or as rhythmic as you like. Remembering to engage the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha, all the way up through the core. And we'll just do one more. And we'll rest the leg down on the floor, and this time draw the left knee over to the right hand side so that you're in that lying twist, and just reach the left arm out And perhaps look towards the left. So the right hand stays on top of the left leg to hold it towards the floor. One more breath and we'll come back to the center. And then we're going to bend in the right knee and have the left ankle rested on top of the right knee. So you can reach through the gap in between your legs, hold onto the back of the right thigh. And then we'll straighten the right leg up. So the foot is pressing up towards the ceiling. Both feet are active again, so the toes are peeled back towards the shins. And then you can use just subtle movements here if you want to sort of keep drawing the leg in towards you, just like a little pulsing kind of rhythm, or just gently rocking, or just stillness in this position. And then we'll slide the left knee over the right and lower the heels down towards the buttocks, so you can reach towards the ankles to hold onto the ankles and draw them in towards you for our reclined Gomukhasana. We'll uncross the legs now and send the feet up towards the ceiling together. And you can take the arms down towards the floor. I like to press my palms towards the floor so they're out towards the side. And we're going to lift the heels and the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. So it will be a gentle lift of the bum off the floor. So just a gentle lift and back down again. So feel that you can be using the core to gently lift the feet towards the ceiling. So the idea is to go as straight up as possible rather than rocking all the way backwards. So extending the feet straight up. And it's just a little, well, you can feel where it might be strengthening in the lower abs. Can we do another 3? And then hug the knees back in. Let the feet come down to the floor. Plant the feet on the floor and have the feet about hip width apart. And then just tilting the tailbone up and down. So you're kind of rocking the whole pelvic bowl up and down. So without lifting the bum off the floor. So we're just tilting the tailbone towards the ceiling and tilting it towards the floor. Just gentle rocking. And we could start to turn those rocking up and down into circles. So as your tailbone's tilted up, then just start to circle down towards the right hand side, down to the floor and up towards the left, back to the center. So think of it like hands of a clock. When the tailbone is facing the ceiling, it's at 12 o'clock. And then you're tilting down to 3, down to 6, tilting up to the left to 9 o'clock and back up to 12. So it's called the pelvic clock exercise. And then you can change directions as well, so you're going anti-clockwise. We could always turn this into a bridge. So if you let the hips settle back at the center and tuck the heels all the way in towards the buttocks, you can either stay with that pelvic clock exercise, or you can press into the feet and roll the hips up towards the ceiling. And exhale to roll the hips all the way back down, so you're rolling through the spine. And you could involve the arms as well, so as you inhale and lift the hips, you could sweep the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, you could sweep the hands back down to the floor. We'll just do a few more like that. And let the movement take as long as it takes you to take a complete inhalation and a complete exhalation. And if you want to, you could pause at the top of your bridge, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips nice and high. And then rolling back down whenever you're ready. And then we'll bring the knees back in for the last time. We take hold of the backs of the thighs and just start to rock. So we're going to rock the feet up towards the ceiling and start to rock ourselves up to seated. And you can just rock a few times, sort of checking that you're rolling on the spine rather than slapping the back on the floor. And we could do our little balance. As you come up to seated, see if you could balance with the feet off the floor. And you might roll backwards again. And have another go when you come up. And one more time. And when we finally come up, we'll hold that balance with the toes off the floor. Maybe lifting the legs a little higher, and you could even go for your boat pose and extend the arms or extend the legs as well. And then hug the knees all the way in. Tuck the forehead down towards the knees and lengthen through the back of the spine. Okay. We're going to come to extend the legs in front of you. So the heels are together and the hands are either side. So that was, we were lying down. It was not too energetic, I don't think, but I still feel really hot. So that just says how hot it is today, doesn't it? So the hands are down by the floor. And then when you inhale and reach the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, reach over the tops of the feet. As you inhale, come up to seated. We're doing our little seated sequence. So draw the pelvic floor and the stomach muscles in. And as you exhale, come to lean back, keeping the back and the chest nice and straight and open. Inhale to lift the left leg. And exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift the right leg. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift both arms up. And exhale, a release. So we'll do that again. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, reach forwards. Inhale to come to seated. And exhale to reach back. Inhale to lift the right leg. And exhale to lower. Inhale to lift the left leg. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift the arms up. Exhale, release. Inhaling up. Exhaling forwards. Inhale to seated. Exhale to lean back. Slightly different this time. Inhale, lift the left leg. And exhale to bend the knee and bring it towards the right elbow. So you're turning towards the left hand side. Inhale to reach forwards. Exhale to lower the leg. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, release. One more time on the other side. Inhale up. Exhale forwards. Inhale to seated. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, lift the right leg. And exhale, bend the right leg and turn towards the right hand side. Inhale, reach forwards. Exhale, lower the foot. Inhale, reach towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. And just lean back on the hands. And open up the chest. And you could point the toes. And you could stay here, or you could lift the hips. And we'll tuck the head back and do 3 lion's breaths. So either stay seated or lift the hips up. And then in your own time, 3 lion's breaths. Wah. 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 And come back to seated if you did the raised version, and let's just lift up the knees. And we'll come on to kneeling. So, just some familiar cat stretches now. You might need some padding under the knees if it's a little firm there. But just moving in that traditional cat-cow. Exhaling to arch the back towards the ceiling and look between the legs. And inhale to lift the head, dip the belly towards the floor. And you could start to just meander off in your own direction from that all fours position. Just exploring all the different angles you could be in the cat. Circles, snake kind of movements. Rolling through the spine, including the neck, the hips. And just close the eyes and enjoy this exploration. And just a couple more breaths. We'll start to make our way back towards a neutral all fours position. And then just sit back on the heels and rest the forehead on the floor. The arms reaching away from you. And so in this position, it's just a moment again to scan through the body, as we did at the beginning, and just soften any tension that may have been picked up. Reconnect with the purpose of your practice, why you wanted to practice yoga today. And then we'll lift the head, and staying on the hands, we'll just walk the hands around to the left-hand side, and then we'll bring the forehead back down towards the floor again. So you feel a stretch underneath the right side of the body. And lift the head, and we'll walk the hands over to the right hand side. And the same thing, just rest the forehead down. Lift the head, and we'll come back to the center and back up to all fours. And final kneeling position here, kneeling twist. So we'll lift the right hand and sweep it underneath. So you end up coming onto the right side of the shoulder and the head. Plant the left hand on the floor. If you don't feel that you're coming down onto the floor, you could always have a cushion under your head. Or if you want to do this upright, you could just simply do this, hold the arm across your body and stretch in that way if it feels uncomfortable. So it's the right arm. You might reach the left hand towards the ceiling if you're feeling comfy in that pose, or even drop it behind your back. And then lift the left hand back up to the ceiling. Press it back into the floor to push you back up. And back to kneeling. And then we'll go on the other side. So the left hand will sweep underneath this time. The right hand can extend towards the ceiling. And then reach the right arm up, press the palm of the hand into the floor to come back up. And we'll just roll the shoulders a couple of times in both directions. And we'll come up to standing. So we could just do some circles in the hips. Oh, there's a nice salutation I was doing the other day, which is just the hands just come together like this, one palm over top of the other. You lift up, and then you kind of lean down towards the left and trace the hands all the way towards the floor and all the way back up. So you're just drawing a big circle. It's just really gentle. But I really enjoyed that. And once you've done 3 circles, you could go in the other direction. and back up to center when we've finished. So we're just going to have the feet slightly wider than hip width and knees slightly bent, toes facing forwards, and just feeling that you can tuck the tailbone in a little bit. If you can kind of tilt the tailbone back and forth, you can find where your center is, and we can just hold the hands gently in front of the belly. So this is a Qi-Gung salute. It's an energy clearing sequence. So just think of the energetic body. So we're just connecting the hands with the aura of the body, or the energy field of the body. So you can kind of just get a sense of, can you feel where that is with your hands? And really soften the shoulders and soften the hands in front of your center. So as you inhale, we're going to comb the hands up in front of the heart. And as you exhale, we're going to draw the hands out to the sides. Inhale to draw the hands in, like you're pushing the energy in. And exhale to sweep up in front of the face, behind the head, round the neck and back to the heart. And then exhale back in front of the belly. Inhale to come around behind the kidneys. And then exhale to sweep down the back of the legs, all the way to the floor. And flick the fingers towards the floor. And then sweep the hands up the front of the legs and settle in front of the belly. So see how it feels like a cleansing kind of action, like you're sweeping it's like you're literally just brushing off from the body, but we're just doing it really gently with the energy field. So once again, inhale to bring the hands up to the heart. Exhale to draw the hands out. Inhale to bring the hands back into the heart. And exhale in front of the face, over the top of the head, round the back. Inhale back down to the body, the belly. Exhale round behind the kidneys. Inhale, pause here. And exhale to sweep down the back of the legs. Flick the fingers towards the floor. And inhale to sweep the hands up the front of the body, settling in front of the belly. Inhale up to the heart. Exhale to sweep out. Inhale back in. Exhale in front of the face, over the head. Inhale back down in front of the belly. Exhale round behind the kidneys. And inhale here again. Exhale to sweep down the backs of the legs. Flicking the fingers out towards the floor. And inhale to draw up the earth energy up the front of the legs to the belly. Inhale and exhale here. One more time, inhaling up to the heart. Exhale out to the sides. Inhale, bringing in a new supply of energy. Exhale, sweeping up over the head. Inhale down to the belly. Exhale round behind the kidneys. Inhale here. And exhale, sweep down, empty everything into the earth. Draw up new energy from the earth as you inhale. Settling the hands in front of the belly and then just close the eyes. Relax the shoulders. And then you can relax the hands. That's all the standing we're going to do. So we're going to come back down to the floor again. And I thought we could go for the pigeon posture. So Depending what you feel about pigeon, there are different options. So what we did at the beginning was a kind of like a pigeon. I'll show you. We did it on the back. So that is an alternative for pigeon if you want to do that. Either that, or we're going to come to all fours and then bring the left foot forwards and bring it right to the front of your mat. Bring the foot over to the right hand side and then come down onto your hands and let the knee come to the floor. So you might need to lift the foot and put it back a little bit and just rearrange, but you're on your left knee and you can lengthen the right leg away from you. So if you can lift the left foot up a little bit, the shin should be as horizontal as possible, but it's not going to be fully horizontal. And then we just think about squaring the hips so you're not reaching backwards too much. And then propped up on the hands, walk the hands forwards and come onto the elbows if that's comfortable. And you can stay there, that's a really lovely option, or you can come onto the forehead and widen the elbows out towards the side. So if that does feel really challenging, then come back a few steps or take the variation that I mentioned. And we're going to pause here for a few breaths. So as we did when we were relaxing, again just scan through the body, a softening gaze on the body. A releasing into the posture and into the stillness of the posture. Just noticing what comes up mentally. We'll just be here for another 3 breaths. And then gently retracing your steps as you come back up. Come back to kneeling, and you might want to just extend that leg behind you and just give it a bit of a shake, a bit of a wobble, a bit of a stretch. Maybe stretch it all the way around behind you like you're reaching the foot round in that scorpion pose that we do sometimes. And maybe a downward dog in between if you feel that you want to stretch out like that. And then we'll come back to kneeling and we'll go to the other side. So it'll be the right knee that comes forwards, the left leg that lengthens backwards. And you can just lift up that right foot. So squaring the hips and either staying on the hands or the elbows, or widening the elbows and coming to the forehead. And make sure that whichever posture or asana that you choose feels that you could be steady and comfortable. It's just enough challenge to feel that some energy is moving. It's not too much challenge to send the mind off into all sorts of directions of pain and wanting to move. And just notice all the feelings that are coming up, all the stories and messages in the head. If you're feeling really busy, just a couple more breaths here. And then we'll gently retrace the steps again. And extend that leg and just let it ease out. And perhaps that kind of scorpion reaching the leg round behind you. Possibly a downward dog if you feel like that, or a child's pose. And then we'll come back to kneeling and back to lie on the belly. With the elbows underneath you, propping you up. So we'll be in the Sphinx. And you could just lift the head and turn from side to side. So the elbows are slightly in front of your shoulders. And then just take the eyes towards the space between the hands so that you're nice and long in the back of the neck and your pubic bone's just tucked in towards the floor. And we'll do some sitali, hissing breath. It's a cooling breath. So we're going to breathe in with the tongue just behind the teeth. And breathe out through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. So it's like your tongue is at the top of the palate, just behind the teeth. And you kind of got the teeth together and you're breathing in through the teeth. Exhale through the nose. And just keep going with that breathing. Just noticing how cooling it is in the mouth already. And then we'll lower the head down towards the floor and take the arms behind you.
So the head is just resting towards one side. And then lift and place the head on the other side. Bring the head back to the center and we'll press back up to kneeling, back to a child's pose. And rest the hands down by the feet. And at this stage in the class, I would like to come and press my warm hands on your lower back. So you could visualize that in this position. Just a pair of warm hands resting on your lower back, around your kidneys or a little bit lower at the top of the hips. And just gently offering some pressure. You can come back up from child's pose. And we will go into shavasana. So just lie down wherever you are comfortable. A couple of sighing breaths, if you feel that you need them. Just settle everything down. And that gentle scanning through the body again. From the crown of the head. With a little message to relax and to release. Across the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, cheeks, nose, lips, chin, neck, throat, collarbones, shoulders, arms, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers, the chest, sides of the body, the belly, the hips, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, the hips, buttocks, the thighs, the groin, the pelvis, the knees, shins, calves, the ankles, tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, and all the toes, the whole of the back of the body, the whole of the front of the body, the left arm, the left leg, the left side of the body, the right arm, the right leg, the right side of the body, the whole of the body. And a little poem from John O'Donoghue. For presence. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. Receive encouragement when new frontiers beckon. Respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. Let the flame of anger free you of all falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame. May anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. Take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. Be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift, woven around the heart of wonder. So just coming back to life, taking a few deeper breaths and stretches. And you could just roll over onto one side of the body and rest there when you're ready. And again, just a moment to reconnect with why you wanted to practice yoga today. Or what you have taken from it. And how this could follow you into the rest of your day. So always these little moments throughout the day where we can pause and rest and reflect, just for a few seconds. So we can come back up to seated. Oh. Any stretches you like. Yeah, we might need to just reach and stretch the arms so that we don't all sleep for the rest of the day. So, palms up, welcoming in the energy of the sun into the heart. Namaste.